Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
It's the question that's on everyone's mind. How do you live a good life? How much do work, health, relationships matter? What about happiness, meaning, money, and love? What if you're alone or anxious, ill or in pain? These are the questions we explore weekly on the top-ranked Good Life Project podcast, hosted by me, award-winning author, 4-time industry founder, and perpetual seeker, Jonathan Fields. Every week, I sit down with world-renowned experts, iconic writers, and researchers, and while everyone from Olympic gold medalists to world-shaking activists, A-list celebs, musicians, and more, all with the single goal, to help understand what it truly takes to live a good life and to feel a little less alone along the way. Listen to the Good Life Project podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Ho, 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 guys. It's Christmas Eve. This is the podcast Heavy Metal Tones with your podcast host, Tony Evans, here in sunny Australia. We're almost to the end of 7 dates of Noel. And this week's episode, this day's, I keep saying week. God, I'm so used to recording weekly. Anyway, today's episode is about one of the most important moments musically for me, and one of the most important moments musically, I think, for this band. Controversially, I should say. Now, what I'm going to say to you may turn a few heads. I've already mentioned earlier in the podcast, if you've listened to previous episodes. So, there's nothing new here when I say this. But today's episode, being Christmas Eve, I'd like to sort of poignantly say this is the eve of my beginning of my musical journey. I was 16 at this point, 17. I've been listening to music since I was younger than that, and obviously I've told you before about my journey with my brother's record collections and so on. But this moment with me is important for me because this is the first gig I ever went to, that I bought tickets for, that I went out and seeked out to see, and it was to be honest, it was not a first thought. Okay, so it's 1989 or 1990. I have to check when that came out. Let me just check it. So, well, this is what you come for. You come for this marvelous amount of research that I do. 89, as I thought. It's Black Sabbath's Headless Cross. Lead singer Tony Martin, guitar Tony Iommi, the legendary Cozy Powell on drums, and on bass we have Jeff Nichols on keyboards. Bass was Lawrence Cottle. Brian May did play guitar solo on the album, but I'm not talking about the album. I'm going to talk about the moment that I come across it. So, picture the scene, 16, 17 years old. I've got money on the hip to buy tickets to go to a show. Fish had just released his solo album, Vigil in the Wilderness of Mirrors. He was playing at the Hammersmith Odeon. And I went that day. This is before you had to go to the place to buy the tickets. You couldn't go online. There were places in the West End where you could buy tickets, the West End of London, that is, but you wouldn't. You'd just go to the venue. So I traipsed across a town, a good hour and 20 minutes from where I lived, on the Hammersmith line, on the Northern Line into Hammersmith, and went to the Odeon, and I bought tickets to see Fish in his first night at Hammersmith. I think he was doing 8 nights that particular tour, which is big. And as I've turned away, I had £10 left in my pocket. That's all I had left for the week. I'd been paid a measly 60 quid. I gave 20 to my mum. I bought my train ticket, and I went and bought a ticket to see Fish, which cost me like £15-20, and I had like £10 left. And as I turned, on the wall was a poster for Black Sabbath's Headless Cross Tour. I had bought the album previously. I didn't know. This day you can see these things, the drop of a hat there. Oh, he's playing there. I'll just straight away, it's all across all the media. And I bought the ticket. And it was before Fish. So Fish was going to be my very first live concert.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Get ahead of postage rate increases this year with Stamps.com. It's like your own personal post office. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
As a sort of grown-up that wasn't with my brothers, then it became the Headless Cross Tour. And to be honest, what a fucking great show that was. For 10 quid, man. I can't remember the name, I can't remember the support band. I'm sure people out there will know who it was. But the thing that stood out for me was Brian May came on and Geezer Butler came on to play on the encore. I almost missed it because I was being sick in the toilets off the main, of the top level there, because this is some very rock and roll, man. I'd had too much Coke and chocolate and fast food. I'd been out all day around London enjoying myself before I went. And I do have, sometimes I have migraine issues, and I brought one on, headbanging so violently and drinking too much Coke and chocolate. And I was being sick in the toilets at the back, and this guy comes up to me, and old guy, all dressed in denim. I had long hair down to the waist and a leather jacket. I'm spewing up into the toilet, and he just said, he looked into the cubicle and he went, "It's the drugs, man. I know it's the drugs." And I couldn't turn around and go, "Yeah, man." I could say, "No, it's the chocolate and the peanut M&Ms." Could I? So I had to go, yeah, man. And off he went. Anyway, I dragged myself back to the venue just as Brian May came on. And Geezer Butler came on, and I thought I dreamt that for years until Tony Iommi's book came out, his biography, which I highly recommend. Just called Iron Man. It's brilliant. And yes, it was a picture of them with Brian May and Geezer, so I knew it wasn't a dream. So it was really important for me, as a moment for me, because it was my journey. Why is it important for the band? I personally think, outside of Ozzy, that Tony Iommi was their best vocalist. Now, please, Dio fans, don't hunt me down. Don't turn me off the program off. I have my reasons. I'm not a massive Dio fan. With Heaven and Hell was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Mob Rules has its moments, but I honestly, Headless Cross, TYR, and Eternal Idol. The reasons they is important to the band. For me, it's because it was my coming of age albums into heavy metal, really. And I also think that he's a marvelously underrated vocalist. And I know that you can't get the albums, they're on IRS label. They haven't put them on Spotify. You can't get them for love nor money. I left mine in the UK. I desperately want a copy of Headless Cross. If anyone has a copy, honestly, out there who's listening, who wants to send me one or sell me one for not some, obviously it's not extremely outrageously priced. I really want it. Vinyl or cassette, and to be honest, even CD I'd take. But I really, really want a copy of it. I bought the singles when they came out. I think it's one of Tony Iommi's best pieces of work, particularly TYR. I think it's extremely underrated. Brilliant album. So that's my Christmas Eve song. I don't know what your coming of age song is, but your Eve song is. But that's mine. And I'd love to know what yours are. I really would. As I said, I'm not going to review the song. Go out there, watch it, listen to it. It's just that moment in time where I saw the poster, I realised I already loved the single and the album, and I didn't know they were touring, and I bought them. And I think it was in April, the gig. I think it was April. That's the memory I have. I remember it being quite chilly-ish, sort of coming to the end, sort of coming into summer, spring. I remember it being dark when I left the gig. It was absolutely packed. I tell you what, the gig I did go and see after that. Now, my God, this was a gig. I saw Slayer with Megadeth and Helmet. I think it was Helmet. No, I could be wrong. At the Odeon, not soon after that, and that was a night of the thrash night. Gosh, I have to look back on my. I have to Google it, but anyway, it was a turning point for me, turning point for my musical journey and going to gigs. A come of age. It was a wonderful coming of age. What a great gig to be your first one. I'm sure there's some amazing ones out there, people's first gigs I'd like to hear. I'm going to do a whole show on it, on first gigs, I think. One day in the new year. Might do that with Benji. I'll have some laughs there. Anyway, I've come to the end of this episode. I hope that you have a great Christmas Eve. I hope you drink lots, but responsibly. Eat lots, but who cares? Get your stockings hung out. And if you're not Christian, whatever you do, I don't care. Just have some fun. Have goodwill to people. Enjoy music. Thanks for the year so far. And I'll chat to you tomorrow on Christmas Day. Let's hope the fat man comes. Bye, guys.